Gallo.
I said no, no, no. Yes, I've been black, but when I come back, no, no, no. I ain't got the time.
Okay, we are back with Congressman Steven Palazzo. Here's another story. This is in the Washington Times. Key Democratic and Republican members of Congress said yesterday the terrorism threat reportedly triggered by an intercepted message between senior al-Qaeda operatives and the most serious threat in years. With some warning, the threat is an indication the terrorist group responsible for 9/11 attacks still pose a significant danger in the U.S. And Congressman Palazzo is with me from Biloxi. And Stephen, to be honest with you, it is so important. You are absolutely right, because if we have, and now we know, we have a lot of homegrown people here, threats. We understood that during the Boston Marathon. But if these people wanted to strap on vest and move into every school or movie theater or shopping mall or a place such as that where there's low security, God knows what would happen.
Paul, it's a scary thought, and it's something that I think about quite often. And when you strip away what we do as elected officials, our number one congressional responsibility is the common defense of this nation at home and abroad. And you have to fund your military at adequate levels to be able to respond to terrorist acts and warlike actions across the globe, but also we need to be prepared to defend America, and that's why border security is extremely important. And people take their eye off this immigration debate. Listen, we need to secure our borders. We're a sovereign nation. Yeah. I introduced an amendment that would actually, help prohibit weapons of mass destruction and terrorists from coming across the border. We have to be diligent. We have to be alert, because we aren't living in I guess our grandfathers or our fathers' time. People have, realized that they could take the coward's way out and do a lot of devastation, and that's what terrorism's all about. It's trying to freeze a body public to make them cower, and it affects your economy. It does a lot of things. That's why cybersecurity is another huge threat. I was just thinking last night, what if my phone went down? What if I couldn't access my ATM, my bank records? That would be devastating if the United States received cyber attacks of that nature, or the power goes out, because they want to disrupt, deny, and just basically terrorize us. And at the end game is, of course, kill Americans.
Well, and it hasn't gotten any better. Apparently, it's getting worse. They have, if they are on steroids since the Benghazi attack, the president's done all the talking. And we thought in the first year of the first term that his talking would have taken care of all of this, but apparently it didn't work. There's a new story that just out this morning that just broke from Washington. And here's one of the reasons we, as the citizens out there, we're worried that there's a right balance on this. We heard about the Bluffsdale, Utah installation that's going to open up in September, where it's bigger than 5 U.S. capitals, where all of this data is going to be streamed in. We know that every single American, everything we do, from the IRS to the census to every single agency is going to pour their data into one. And we're worried about who's going to get that, because over and over, I've got 3 stories in the stack here about hacking. And who's going to be able to get that? And then the president says, don't worry about it, it's secure. Here's the latest story. A secretive U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, this is DEA unit, is funneling information from intelligent intercepts, wiretaps, informants, and a massive database of telephone numbers and records to authorities across the nation to help launch criminal investigation of Americans. Although these cases rarely involve national security issues, documents reviewed by Reuters show that law enforcement agencies have been directed to conceal how such investigations truly began, not only from the defense lawyers, but also sometimes from prosecutors and judges. So here is another agency, the DEA, that's funneling this information in one touch, everything you need to know. How do we balance that?
Well, that's a good question. And to me, this is just another culture of the arrogance coming out of the Obama administration. You've seen the IRS. You see, the fact that they were targeting Americans and conservative groups. We start hearing that the Federal Elections Commission was doing the same. We don't know how deep these scandals go. And, of course, the president the other day called them phony scandals. I guess Brian Terry's death on the border was a phony scandal. Yeah. I guess the 4 Americans, Ambassador Stevens, was a phony scandal. I guess the IRS and Inspector General just doesn't know what he was talking about when he said that the IRS, was targeting conservative groups because they don't agree with this radical agenda coming out of this government. And that's our job. And, it's our job not just to protect American citizens. It's also our job to protect ourselves from an overreaching, power-grabbing government. And we have to balance our national security with also our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Well, and finding the key to do this is going to be the thing, because some of it's not just like the vote, and I think the vote that you guys did as far as the amendment was the correct one, but it's not a politically easy one. Certainly on the eve of coming back to the district and meeting with people who don't understand the full breadth of what you did. Pat Caddell, as you well know, Pat Caddell is a former Democratic guy, or former Democratic strategist. I shouldn't say former, he still is, but a little piece on him on yesterday's Talking Points. And I'm going to ask you about this. And then he, at the end of here, is a former Louisiana legislator or congressman, and I forgot his name, but listen to this.
Attempts to turn this into a scandal,
Carney,
have failed.
What about that, Pat? Well, other than him being about the most disingenuous person ever stand on that podium, let me tell you, we face a crisis in American democracy of proportions none of us have ever seen in terms of these widespread scandals of government abuse. And the real problem is that for the first time in American history, you have the party in power, the party out of power, and the news media, all who either are co-conspirators, accessories, or accomplices, or AWOL from all of this, or purposely AWOL, and therefore no one in this country is telling the American people the danger of what's happening.
Republicans have dropped the ball. What Pat just said is 1,000% correct. They are really complicit in covering up Benghazi. Boehner refuses to name a select committee, even though a majority of Republicans in the House have written to him.
All right, now, Congressman Palazzo, listen to what this guy says, because this is important, and the American people are going to be, I think, angry about this.
Frank Wolf, very good congressman from Virginia, has told the Speaker, if you won't name a select committee, you are complicit in the cover-up. And what we now suspect is Boehner won't do it, and maybe he used that as leverage on the president to get this ridiculous fix of Obamacare so that we are paying for the health care of Capitol Hill staffers and congressmen. It's like a payoff for keeping quiet on Benghazi.
Right. Now that's pretty astounding to know that your leader, our Speaker of the House, Boehner, cuts a deal. This is his assertion, cuts a deal, so you guys don't have to get a waiver on Obamacare as far as in Congress is concerned. And there's a lot of divisive opinions going on between the Republicans. Your thoughts, real quick.
Oh, are we going to come back after this, Paul? well, first of all,
I don't think it would be fair for me to hit you with a question like that and not let you come back to answer it. Even though it's on the other side of the 8 o'clock hour, can you call? You want to call back, or you want to hang on?
I'll hang on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. It's unfair for me to do that to him and not give him a chance to respond. But apparently, this guy is basically saying that Boehner cut a deal, saying Congress would be given waivers on Obamacare, and we'll take care of you. We won't appoint a select committee to investigate Benghazi. My God, if that's going on. Oh, not only that. First story coming up, law enforcement officials in the U.S. are expanding the use of tools. Did you know the FBI can turn your phone mic on? Maybe? Can they? Really? That story next.